So hello, good morning. Today I'm working on finalizing a couple of Ichthus pendants for Holy Communion, which will be hosting stones related to the birthday stones of the children that will be receiving these. The pendant, the final work, the final pendant is this. And yesterday I was taking photos of the various steps, and I arrived to part of the steps where I'm soldering all the bits together, which I'll be taking a video of today. Once I finish this, I have another 3 to go. So basil, the Ichthus, okay, is this out of this wire, okay, which is, let me exactly, which is 2 millimeters, 2.3. Mark a point of 2.5, okay, and this is going to be where I create the first. I'll show you. So I have a 2.5 mark here. You can see it there, it's very small, and this is where I'm going to start make a mark with this one. All right, and then I'll go in using a triangular blade file to create a crease. That's where I'm creating the head of the Ichthus, so the part, the joint here that meets. So instead of cutting one side and then recutting and reshaping, I'm going to show you how I did that, and I also have photos, okay, which you'll see, but I'll show you how I'm doing it as I go along. The flux, and that's the joint that I want to fix together. And also I have another joint here. Let me see if I can. It's quite tricky. Okay, so I have a joint here which I need to close as well. Now for this part of the job I'm going to be using the hard solder, okay. The idea is that then I will be having the bezel here, which I'll be using the medium for, which will actually be less, would require less heat to melt. Here we go. Time to file. You see, the joint here no longer shows. Here we go. Now this is quite tricky, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, we should do like this. And we'll go with the medium solder, chips, flakes. These aren't much used in, not much used, they aren't used in filigree making because we use a different kind of solder, which is the dust one. I'll show you in future videos as well. I'll just put another one there because I wasn't too happy with the joint. But anyway, we'll go in. Yeah, let's start one. Usually I try to be, the camera is always a bit in the middle for me, but anyway. Okay, let me find a little bit. I have these which are now a bit old, so I'm using them as a pick-up stick, pick-me-up stick. There's a fly. One, have to go. That's number one. I have placed the solder bit in place, and then I will heat everything up so that I make sure it flows and that the bezel is actually fixed in place. Sorry, I'm out of the zone. Madam, this should be fine, but I have to check if the bezel is actually soldered. Yeah, I think it is. I'll show you. Oopsie. Let's quench it a bit. Yeah. Now I will help it by putting a little bit of solder at the back as well, but just to give you a good idea. Well, testing wise, yes. And here you can see that it has joint. Let me see if I can actually. Well, here, let me see. It's not showing that clearly, but here, between the bezel and the border of the design, the joint has melted very well. On this side, I can say it's the same. Let's check. Yeah, pretty much so. Very happy with the joint, but what I'll do now is I'll create a bit of not a space at this level, thank God that it's broken. And I will melt some solder at the back as well, just to give it that nice safe grip as well. So we'll do that, and then we'll go again to another round of the rotary tool. Well, actually I'll quench it first in sulfuric acid mixed with water, parts 1 to 10. So one solder will go on one side, one solder will go on one side, this is the most difficult thing in silversmithing, I guess. When I started, obviously, I used to melt a lot of objects, you know, and sometimes at the end part of it, you feel like, I have to start all over again. But anyway, but now I find it the most relaxing experience ever. For me, it's a little bit like with parking. I enjoy parking. It's the thing I love the most when it comes to driving. I guess you didn't know that. And I like driving. So here it goes. Now we have to solder the jump ring. Okay, but I'll put first this into the acid.